Imagine working at a job that you've poured years of your life into, only to be transferred to a farther location that you have to leave everything behind. No relocation allowance, no extra pay, no support, just you, uprooted and left to figure it out on your own. That was me. But what happened next? You need to hear this. It is a proof that when odds have added up against you, God steps in and flips the script. This story I am about to share will leave you speechless. Please don't go away. Just stay with me. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ada and this is Strive with Ada. If you're just seeing my face for the first time, I want to specially welcome you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I want to share a testimony that would lift up someone, that would bless you. I'm sure we'll have a lot to pick up from this story and a lot to learn from each other. Please stay tuned, stay with me, don't go away. For years, I worked in an organization with a global presence. I loved my job. Though it came with its challenges, but I had a balance. I was able to juggle work and family because my work location was a manageable distance from my house. But one day, I just got this mail dropped into my box, transferring me to a further location. I would have to apply an expressway. I would have to commute over an hour each way. I'll commit over an hour either going or coming. This transfer is not going to come with any relocation allowance. There was no increase in any income of any sort. I'm going to be increasing my expenses and then my income was going to remain static. So I'm going to be spending more. And I just figured it out that my current location is the place I have been for quite a while, and maybe it's time for me to just embrace change and move on to another location. So I took it in stride. I took it in good faith, hoping for the best. Little did I know that this was just the beginning. So I'll say that adapting to this location was not an easy feat for me. I had to commute via an expressway to work every day, going and coming. In fact, I had to park the car because the construction on that express, it wasn't a sensible thing to drive and be stuck in traffic for hours. So I had to find my way to commute to work every day without the car. And I think one or twice I had to spend the night in that city because of the gridlock on the way. There was no way I could get home the same day. So I had to just, maybe I had something else to do the next day in the office. So I had to just stay back 2 nights like that. The only time I mentioned to my boss the challenges I was facing, the advice he gave me was that I should look for an accommodation in that city. But I wasn't ready to do that. Who would I leave my 2-year-old daughter for? So I decided to just carry my cross and keep on keeping on. There was nothing else I could do at that time about it. So a couple of years later, another email dropped in my box again, and it was another transfer further to a further location. This time around, commuting will be taking like 2 hours. So the thought of even traveling, commuting to work was out of it. There's no way I could do that every day anymore. I had to, it would mean me relocating to that town and just getting an apartment of my own and staying there. So I was very bitter. I was devastated about this whole thing that was happening to me. I was wondering, what is it? I'm still trying to adapt to this place I am in because it's still a long distance from my house. And here am I getting another transfer, taking me further, that I had to just pack completely from where I was. I had to become a traveling wife. What this means is that I will become a traveling wife and then be coming home on weekends to be with my family and go and work on weekdays in this location. It was enough for anybody to just carry pen and paper and say I'm resigning, I'm not doing anymore. But I was careful not to take a rash decision without properly thinking it through. I didn't have a plan B. This was, like I said, this was a job I had poured years of my life into. So I had to stop and ponder over what to do. So immediately I got that email. It was as if the hairs on my body, the strands of hairs over my body, they were just hanging and they just, became weights here. I left everything I was doing, The way I dashed out of the office that day, you would think something was chasing me or I was chasing something. I just found my way. I committed like 1.5 hours to the location of a manager that I felt has a hand in this move. I felt that, okay, if I go to see this manager and stable my case, maybe beg and plead pitifully, probably the decision will be reversed. For the purpose of this story, let me call this person Mighty. I went to Mighty's place. I talked about my young children that needed the attention and care of a mother. I talked about the sacrifices that I have borne in my current location without even complaining to anyone. Something I took in good faith. And then I am now being faced. I have not even settled properly. I'm now being faced with this. I begged. I pleaded. All my excuses did not yield any result. Mighty was still bent on this decision standing. Guess what I was told? Guess what I was told? It is a management decision. End of discussion. You know that moment when you realize nobody is coming to help you? That was me. There was nobody I did not speak with. I spoke with Mighty's close acquaintances, people that there was a mutual respect between them. I spoke with my supervisors. I spoke with random strangers that maybe are at par, the same level with Mighty. I don't have a relationship with them closely. I just had to, cry out to them to help me. I went as far as engaging Mighty's personal staff. I even wanted to go to Mighty's house, but the staff would not allow me. I guess he was scared for his job, and so he said, he cannot even allow that happen. And here I was. At a point, nobody was even picking my calls anymore. All the people I had disturbed that initially told me that they will look into the issue, they will see what they can do, and then they'll get back to me. When I call them, they don't pick up. I didn't hear from them. When you have spoken to somebody and the person has given you a ray of hope, you are expectant, you want to hear the feedback, you want to hear what they had to say, but then suddenly they are not picking your calls. You call them, they don't pick. You send messages, they don't reply. I was like, I felt all alone. I was so alone at this time. I didn't even know what else to do. So, well, at this point, my husband and I, we have to come together to have a family discussion. And we discovered that we have no choice in this matter, and the only reasonable thing to do was to try making arrangements, maybe getting accommodation, or preparing towards moving to that location, because my husband and I discussed, and that was what we decided to do. So, but one night we decided to pray together on this issue. We came together. I would say that I've been, praying on my own. I'm sure each of you have been praying on his own. But on this particular day, we decided to come together with a prayer of agreement. When one person chases 1,000, two will chase 10,000. There's power in the prayer of agreement. So we came together, we held hands, and we prayed that God should intervene in this matter. We wanted a reversal to this situation. But in the end of it, we wanted God to have his way. So it had come to a point where I had to just focus on him. There was no help from anywhere. There was nobody that was going to help. It was just God I had to look up to. So I just prayed and left everything in the hands of God. A few days later, something incredible happened. My boss called me out of the blues. Now, this is one of the persons that have been avoiding my calls, that I've been trying to reach. I've been trying to, engage and ask for help. That I've been sending messages to, that was not even responding. All of a sudden, he was calling me out like, I was shocked. But I just quickly picked the call. And guess what he told me? He said, Ada, you have been praying, Abby. I said, yes, sir. He said, I can see you have been praying. Don't stop. Continue praying. God is about to do something. In fact, he said, God has started doing something. Continue praying so that he will perfect it. I said, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And he was like, we did not have this discussion. And he ended the call. Inside me, I was elated. But I didn't even have any information. I didn't have any news. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't want to give give out the confidentiality that he bestowed upon me to start asking questions. So I just kept mute and I just started thanking God that, Lord, you have started it, you have to complete it. I don't have the details, but that is what you have to do. Now that weekend of my boss's call, I got another call from a friend, a very close friend. And she was so excited. She was screaming on the phone. I said, what is it? She was like, I thought, congratulations. I was like, congratulations, what happened? What's the congratulations for? It was like, your transfer has been cancelled. I am currently with a new person that has been transferred to that location you were supposed to be resuming at. I screamed. I said, what happened? Tell me. He said, that in their meeting, they just had this meeting in their Zoom, and then they introduced the person as the person that will be resuming in that location, that she doesn't know anything, she doesn't know how it happened, she just wanted to share the good news with me so that I would start rejoicing. My joy knew no bounds. I was elated, I was happy, I was like, this can only be God. When man says no, God can turn it to a yes. God intervened in this situation. All the while I was running from one mortal being to the other, looking for man to help me. I should have even just tabled the whole thing before God. If God wanted to use men, he would do it his own way. But I wanted to just have my way. I was doing all I can with so much energy and vibrancy, trying to convince the mortal man to help. But the moment all the doors were shut and I was all alone, and I turned to him, I'm sure God was just watching. He was like, this my daughter doesn't even know that this situation, I'm the one that would solve it. When she's done running around and she turns to ask for my help, then I will step in. God, in short, the glory belongs to him. There was nobody of all the people I was engaging, all the people that I was begging, none of them will tell me that he or she did something to reverse this situation. It was just God working things out for my good. It was so clear, it was crystal clear that this was a divine intervention from the Most High. My curious self now, I wanted to know what happened. So I was probing. I wanted to ask, what is the issue? So apparently there's this person whose unit was dissolved, so to speak. And so he was kept in a temporary location. He was just told to be resuming in that location pending when they get a placement for him. And so how the group head brought up the topic in a management meeting, and then they just said, oh, and the group head also remembered that this location needs somebody, and that was how it was approved that he should resume in that location the next week. So I was just like, that location has been like that for some time. This person has been resuming in this temporary location also for some time. But when God has said it is time to act, he makes things work together for the good of the people who put their trust in him. I was so grateful to God. I told my friends, I shared this testimony around my circle, because I just let them know that God is still doing miracles, he's still working wonders. So what's the takeaway? If you're facing impossible situations and it looked as if there's no way out, just pray. Trust God. He will make a way for you. He's a miracle worker. The miracles he did in days of old, he is still doing in our own days today. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a miracle like this? Please drop your story in the comments. I would love to read from you. And if this testimony has blessed you, please do not forget to share, subscribe, and like this video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.